This is the LC GoOpCo LaMyrias #1 partnership. This is a great partnership. I've been working with Gober Operating for about 20 years now. Drilled quite a few wells out in Throckmorton County. And the essence of these partnerships, we are drilling grassroots wells for the Mississippian Formation. Mississippian Formation is a reef that's found somewhere around 5,000, 6,000 feet out in this area of the country. But the partnership is the total raise is $850,000, and we're selling 5 units at $170,000 a unit. Each unit gets you 11.1375% net revenue interest in the project. I think the thing that makes me most confident about drilling with Gober out in Throckmorton County is the science that we're using. Years ago, there was 3D seismic that attracted me to the location and to these locations, and Clay showed it to us. It was a seismic shot that was made in 2008 by Beartooth Operating and Goldman Sachs. And that seismic shot was actually looking for Caddo formations. Those were the first things that they started getting signals for with 3D seismic. And so they started drilling for the Caddo. As they drilled for the Caddo using that science, they were actually hitting Mississippian reefs that were on top of the Caddo. And so they reshot the seismic again, and they started looking for Mississippian formations, and so they began to identify them. The Mississippian has been hit out here, several times, but what's different about it now is it's the same geology, but we can drill the wells more efficiently, and we can get more oil out of the same traps than ever before, and that's evidenced in the wells that you'll look at. If you go to the closology map just below the here, you'll see that the location has over this data set is looking at 425 productive wells in the area, and there's a well right next to us that produced 77,000 barrels of oil from 1984 to 1996. So that took about 12 years. That's a great well. And you can see in the first year, it made 17,000 barrels of oil. That was back in 1984. If we drilled that well today, and sold the oil at today's prices, around $56 a barrel, the daily production on that well was 49 barrels of oil a day, back in 1984. And so that right there, 49 barrels a day, selling it at $56 a barrel, and if you call it 10% for the expenses, that could generate somewhere around $7,900 a month in income. And it could pay you out in 21 months, meaning your investment is paid back in full in 21 months. And you could potentially turn an investment of $170,000 into $416,000 for a total ROI of 245%. And that is exciting, but that's based on a well that was drilled back in 1984. If you take a look at some of the wells that are being drilled now recently, there's a company called Cooper and Spence, and they are drilling just to the northwest of where we are. They drilled a well in November 2014 down to 4,705 feet, and this is right in the same area what we're drilling for. So far it's produced over 114,000 barrels of oil. And that's been, 3 years? In the first year, it made 61,000 barrels of oil, which could potentially return with 10% expenses at today's prices, 194% in the first year. That's exciting. That well made 168 barrels a day for the first year. And that was just drilled in November of 2014. So the area has been drilled, and we're familiar with it. The most challenging part is getting the leases, and then getting the science on the leases and coordinating that with the operators. I've been doing business with Gober for, like I said, over 20 years. Clay's a great operator, and he produces the oil. We already have a couple of wells out there in the manual lease, which is contiguous acreage to our LaMyrias lease, and we are pumping away and sending out cash distributions on these wells. This is a really neat play. It's drilling conventional oil wells, which makes a lot of sense right now, because the rigs that can drill these wells are affordable, and say 80% are sitting in the yard dry. There's only about 20% utility on rigs that can drill 5,000-6,000 foot holes. They're pretty simple to drill now. And when you have the quantities of oil and gas in the ground that are coming out faster than ever before, and you can just produce the well more efficiently, that makes for a really good investment. So conventional wells out in West Texas in proven areas using 3D seismic can really make our investors a lot of money. I love this play. I hope you join us on the LaMyrias #1. I'm Thomas Tapia, president of Laconia Capital.